Hi folks, Bluesboy Jag here. This is a one-of-a-kind cigar box guitar. I've never made one like this before. Check out the artwork. Blame it on my gypsy soul. 3-string. Take a look at this guitar here. This is an acoustic electric, and that right there is the sound hole. Now keep in mind, acoustic CBGs are not going to be as loud as a regular acoustic guitar because they're roughly 1/4 the size. So these are what I call living room volume. So you can practice your tunes without disturbing the person sitting next to you while they're watching the news. But it also has a single coil pickup, which is what those screws right there are. It's a hidden pickup inside the box, and that is to preserve the artwork. So this particular box had some artwork on the front of it. It had a sticker, and I took that off, and then I put this artwork in its place. And that's kind of dusty on the back, isn't it? There you go. And this is a nice thick wood box. I always put extra weight in the rear of the guitar, so it's just like this when you're on stage with a guitar strap and not like that. So I put some extra wood in here to balance it out. This is a fret, believe it or not, for the bridge. You never really know how high the strings are going to be until you make the guitar. And so I used a low bridge on this one. Sometimes I use a bigger bolt. Most of the time I use a pretty small bolt or a fret to keep the strings pretty low. I attach the strings here with screws, and I just wrap the string right around the screw. And all you got to do to tune it up, when you put new strings on, you tighten those strings and then you tune it, and then you tighten them, you pull on them, you tune them, you stretch them, tune them, and it doesn't really take long at all. I mean, it takes about 30 seconds. So what you do is you just kind of, as you wind the string up, once you get it kind of taut, and I do this on every guitar I've ever owned, Fenders, Gibsons, acoustics, etc. But you have to do it maybe 2 or 3 more times on one of these because of the way the strings are attached. So you put the new strings on and you tighten it, and you tug on it, stretch it, tighten it again, get it tuned up, tug on it, stretch it, tighten it, tug on it, stretch it. Do it about 3 or 4 or 5 times, and at that point it's not going to slip. They are tight and they will stay in tune. These are perfectly intonated. Each guitar, the bridge is set just perfectly, so it'll be in tune all the way up the neck. Some are slanted, some are not. Just like a Gibson has that slanted bridge sometimes. All depends on how it turns out. Sometimes I have to slant it, sometimes I don't. So I put a L bracket here on the bottom, real simple. And what it does is it allows you to pull the neck down ever so slightly, maybe a 1/16 of an inch, maybe even just a 32nd of an inch. So it pulls, as you tighten this, it pulls the neck down just a little bit. And what that does is it brings the strings closer to the fretboard just a little tiny bit. And the string height is real important. You can raise it or lower it a tiny bit and it's all screwed up. You tighten it and it's perfect. I mean, it's just like real tiny, 1/16 or 32nd of an inch. So you can raise them play slide, you can lower them and play regular fretted guitar, or you can put them kind of middle, and you can play both styles. You can play slide or fretted. And these are red oak necks. They resist bowing. B-O-W-I-N-G, not B-E-O-I-N-G. Bolt for nut, as I've been doing since 2005. Bluesboy Jag logo, signed and numbered. 1/4-inch jack, guitar strap, 1 volume control. This is the signature Bluesboy Jag style of guitar. If it's fretted, they all have the same setup. I also make them with the humbuckers. I make them with dual pickups as well, with a toggle switch. I make them with a fretless guitar. I make 1-string diddleybows, 2-string diddleybows, 3-string diddleybows, 3-string fretless, 3-string fretted. By the way, these frets are the same frets you'd find on a Fender, Gibson, Gretsch, etc. They're not cheap. They're the real deal, as they say. There you go, folks. Bluesboy Jag Cigar Box Guitar can be found at jagshouse.com. Once again, thanks for your kind support.